Hi, welcome. This is a day 4 update for Pearl. Pearl's here on a 2-week board and train, dealing with a relationship problem. She's actually hit a tipping point and has become aggressive. Okay, so aggression. Understanding aggression is about control, gaining control in the relationship. So in this video, you're going to see me continue to advance the relational script. And a couple things I'm going to be doing here, demonstrating. Is adding the down position onto the method. Okay, now so when you're doing the down, typically there's variances here when you're adding on to the basic method, and it all depends on the level of control a dog has going into the process. So again, the goal is to have the dog come into agreement with. You want the dog to be accepting of the method. Influence is an ingredient in the relational changing process, so it is necessary. But again, how it ties into the method in such a way, it's about keeping things very leveled out. Okay, so again, on the prior video, you will have seen me do what I call a kinetic method. Okay, where with Pearl, she's really like locking down. Her state of mind is such that she's really halting, and so what I was doing with the leash is really locking in and basically collapsing her mind. Okay, the collapse point represents her coming into agreement and then moving forward and then continuing the method. Okay, so the thing that I'm going to be doing here in this video, you're going to see me doing, is moving into more of nudging her out of that state a little bit. Okay, now to understand how this comes together in terms of the method with using the kinetic method as opposed to, say, nudging or cranking on a dog, which I'm not going to be doing here, it's just nudging. But if you were to engage differently for that state of mind, say if I decide I want to just start to really crank on her a little bit to get her out of that state of mind, the problem with that, based on where we're at in the process and based on control, is that can trigger aggression. Okay, so the best method to do, which you saw me do here with her in the last videos, was the kinetic technique. Okay, so the goal is to get her to release a certain level of control, so that now when she locks in, okay, the nudging part is going to be effective. I don't have to do the kinetic method. Okay, now I can nudge her and it's not going to trigger aggression. Okay, she's going to be accepting of it, which you're going to see me do here a little bit as needed. Okay, so if I need to nudge her out of those states a little bit, I'm going to do that. But at the same time, I'm also going to be putting the down position onto her. Okay, so the down happens every 2 or 3 times off from when I come to a stop. I do the sit, do the push-pull, and then tying it into the push-pull. Once I complete the push-pull, then where my hand will already be there on her shoulder blade, then I'm going to launch into the down. Now, the issue of the down is such that, again, it's not about the position itself being the ultimate, what I'm looking at, okay? Now, again, the position will, reflect the fact of her state of mind, but it's about starting to put more influence into the method, okay? Really, especially for a dog that's hit that tipping point, okay, adding the down on can be very, very helpful with getting that state of mind down, okay? So you want to add the down on, but again, same type of variance. I'm not going to do the down until I'm a few days in. Like right now I'm a few days in, and so she's going to be accepting of that. Now here, you'll hear her, almost sounds like she's growling. Okay? Now what that is, and oftentimes it's not, once you get into this a little bit, okay, just hearing that noise will be like, man, she's about to bite Dale. What it is it's physiological, which means that the issue of bad intent, okay, the issue of bad intent begins to diminish after a few days, which means you hear that type of noise, it's her mind pulling in, okay? There's still some stress load on her, and so she's still responding to that. So again, it's context of noises coming from a dog, okay? Now here in terms of restricting airway, okay, you never want to get into restricting airway. This is why even the kinetic method, you'll see influence coming to the back of the collar. Here, I'm using the pressure collar today, okay, to be a little bit more effective based on where I'm at. And I'm going to be switching over more and more to the flat collar. But here, I still need a little bit of control, a little bit of advocating, targeting influence a little bit better, and a little bit more control for nudging her out of that state of mind, okay? So, but at the same time, again, always want to, as long as she's in a good state of mind, okay, you always focus on creating slack, okay? You never want to always, so, because it's about making sense to the dog, okay? So there's an interruption, you know, she may be investing a certain way, her state of mind, interrupt that state, okay, and then release, okay, the slack. So I'm going to start moving forward with her, and you'll see me apply these techniques as I go along here. Here I'm just nudging, see that? Just a little bit of a nudge to help to encourage her to move forward. She comes into a sit position. She wants to kind of lean a little bit towards me. So a way to kind of get her to stand up straight, okay, is just a little bit of a nudge like I'm doing. Now here I'm going to do a push-pull, and then I'm going to do it down. Okay, see her go kind of sideways here. You don't want her hovering there too long. She's down like that, she goes sideways. Okay, I want to get her up. So I'm going to bring her up into a sit, just back up into a sit. A little bit of a kinetic movement there to create it. I'm going to move her ahead just a bit, okay? So here, and again, slack again through the leash, okay? So, but here, the issue about her going sideways on the down isn't something I'm too concerned about, okay? Because it's not about the position. It gives me information, okay, that she's still going into a challenge, okay? So her body's going sideways based on the level of influence that's coming over her. So the issue there is don't let her hover there, just bring her up. Now, the other information that will be, you know, you gain from as the dog goes prone, okay, is I'm putting influence onto the dog within the context of what's reasonable, okay? And the dog goes prone and the body lines up better, that gives me information, okay, that she's beginning to release control. Okay, so it's all about what the method does. It provides context, it provides information, it reveals the truth of what's happening, okay, but at the same time it also changes, okay, so, you know, really want to stick to the method, okay, keep the integrity of the method. There, like I mentioned before, there's variances though, okay, depending on where the dog's at, okay, in terms of how much control. So, you know, you have to kind of remove, sometimes I'll remove, say, the push-pull, or I might remove, not do the down position, because, or, like I said, with how the techniques play off each other with the kinetic technique before doing the nudging her out of that state of mind a little bit. It's all about keeping everything leveled out, okay? So the goal is to have her come into agreement with the method, okay? That's the goal here, is for her to be as accepting as this is possible based on what I'm doing. Sandy, I move forward with her, come along really well. Again, I'm going to bring her up here, put her another down, and bring her back up to a sit pretty quickly, move her forward a little bit. There we go. Now the issue too is I still don't get in this whole petting thing, okay? You know, sometimes when you look at this and say, man, Pearl's doing really great, she's responding really great, but understanding what needs to be emphasized through leadership, okay? The whole issue of those stinking thinking, okay? I don't want to engage in that too much in terms of petting and reward because, again, it's about context. You know, that once the dog's at a certain level, then she takes that as weakness, okay, and it will actually create problems because then it brings confusion into the equation. Okay, you want to make sure leadership leads, okay? And you move forward. Same thing and stop her. Do the push-pull. Now see how she flinches here a little bit? Again, that's the tension on her. That's the stress on her. Not going to put her into it down. Move her forward. This is a power play, okay? This is what this really represents about advocating who's in control. Okay, this is normal. Slack again through the leash, okay, and move forward again. And then just stop here. So here, as you can see, she's responding really, really well. Okay, even the tapping with, you know, how I'm tapping her out of a certain lockdown state of mind. She's really coming out of that state of mind very quickly. She's not locking in as much at the intensity as she was. If you look at the other videos, you'll see she's really coming into agreement and really just starting to accept, okay, the method and move forward. Now, the down position, that will just line up naturally on its own during the process. As she comes in more and more agreement, you'll see her body go more and more prone. So the focus here is, again, the next couple more days, is really making sure I fade into the picture, okay, keeping this really kind of focused this way. I fade into the picture really, really good first before I start introducing other dogs, other distractions. Because here's the problem. If I don't fade in, bring myself into the picture at a high enough level, that's going to have a negative impact, okay, on her, how she expresses that state of mind towards other things, okay? So I need to fade in first, but me becoming the pivot point, okay, which is what I'm doing here now through what I'm advocating. Once I fade in, once she comes into agreement where, the focus, and you'll see that through the inwardness too of how a dog responds. Everything in the how a dog responds to the method will reveal where you're at. Once I'm faded in at a really good level, then I start to incorporate other dogs, other distractions in, okay? So again, the first week is really focused more on fading me in. The second week is going to be focused more on other branching off from there, which you're going to see on the video. So again, doing really, really good. Pearl's coming along really well, based on, again, considering the amount of control she had in the relationship. So thanks for watching.